Back on the grind. $400 buy-in on the line tonight, and we're heading up. One of the bigger hands of the night, I got pocket aces up against kings, with the biggest pot of the night hanging in the balance. And before long, I'm staring down at a $2,400 stack. But it's not all sunshine. Sometimes the best move is finding a fold in a monster pot. And sometimes you just have to watch a massive pot get shipped the other way. 1,400 piles up in the middle, the kind of pot that defines a session. This is the home game hero. Big blinds, bigger dreams. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and let's play some cards. First hand of the night, and we're already in the mix. I look down at King Queen of Diamonds under the gun +1. I bump it up to 11, and somehow the entire table comes along. We go 7 ways to the flop with 77 in the middle. And we smash it. 10 of diamonds, 3 of diamonds, jack of spades. We've got an open-ended straight draw, a flush draw, and 2 overs. 8 cards give us the stone cold nuts, 6 give us top pair, and another 8 give us the second nut flush. I lead out for 20, and 4 players stick around. We're going 5 ways to the turn with 177 in the middle. Turn card is the ace of hearts. Boom, we hit Broadway. We've got the nuts. It checks to me again, and I bet 55. Only the button makes the call. Heads up with 287 in the middle. The river pairs the board with the 3 of spades. Not the best card, but I don't think he slow plays sets here too often. He checks, and I toss out 80. He doesn't think long before folding, probably chasing a flush. Either way, we drag a nice $287 pot to kick things off. I'm under the gun with ace-king offsuit. I go ahead and raise it up to 11. This is going to be the very top of my range from under the gun. When 5 players call, I'm probably up against a lot of suited connectors, pocket pairs, and weaker Broadway combos. The flop comes king of diamonds, 10 of spades, 10 of clubs. We have top pair, top kicker. This is about as good as it gets for me. With that being said, it checks through. I know a lot of 10s would have bet themselves, and most players don't slow play trips multi-way, so I'm feeling comfortable that my ace-king is best a lot of the times here. The turn brings the 2 of spades, still a brick. Once it checks to me, I bet 15 into 67. This is a spot where worse kings and some stubborn pocket pairs are still calling, and I'm targeting exactly that range.
Under the gun +2 makes the call, and so does the low jack. The pot now is at 113, and we're going to the river.
The river brings the 8 of clubs. With top pair, top kicker, I decide to squeeze out a little thin value and bet 20 bucks. Under the gun +2 folds, but the low jack makes the call. I table ace-king, and he flashes king-8 for the same 2 pair with a lower kicker. We went for value and got looked up by worse. We drag in this $153 pot. I'm in a low jack and I look down at king 10 offsuit. A couple of limps to me, so I bump it up to 10. The hijack calls, and then so do both blinds in early position. We're going 5 ways to a $50 pot. The flop comes 10 of spades, 8 of clubs, 5 of clubs. We flop top pair with a decent kicker on a pretty wet board. It checks to under the gun +2, who leads for 15. I don't waste time. I raise it up to 35. I'm planning to put more pressure if the turn runs clean. The hijack and small blind get out of the way, but the big blind calls, and under the gun +2 completes. The pot is building. The turn is the deuce of clubs, bringing in the front door flush. Not the card I wanted to see. Both opponents could easily have clubs after calling my flop raise. Big blind checks. Under the gun +2 now fires for 55. With the flush getting there and 2 players still sticky, I decided to just let it go. Big blind folds as well, and under the gun +2 takes it down.
To 3?
In middle position, I pick up ace-king offsuit and raise it up to 11. The cutoff makes the call, and both blinds come along as well. We're going 4 ways to the flop with 44 in the middle. The flop comes 8 of spades, 6 of clubs, ace of diamonds. We hit top pair, top kicker. The small blind donks right out for 20. The big blind gets out the way. I make the call, and the cutoff comes along too. The pot is now 104. The turn brings the 8 of diamonds. When the small blind checks, I bet $30. The cutoff makes the call, and the small blind folds. We're going heads up to the river with 164 in the middle. The river is a 3 of spades, a total brick. I go for thin value, betting 40 bucks. The cutoff makes the call. I roll over ace-king, and it's good. We drag a $244 pot with ace-king. I'm in the straddle for $5 and look down at 4-6 suited. It limps all the way around and we end up going 7 ways to the flop with 35 in the middle. The flop comes 7 of clubs, 6 of spades, 5 of spades. We flop a straight flush draw on a paired board. I lead out for 15 and only the cutoff makes the call. Everyone else gets out of the way. So we go heads up to the turn with 65 in the middle. The turn pairs the board again, another 5, this time the 5 of clubs. Not the card I wanted to see. I slow down and check and my opponent checks it back. The river is the king of spades. We make our flush, but on this run out, it's really just a bluff catcher. I check and the cutoff rips 75 into 65. I hate it, but I make the crying call and he tables pocket 7s for quads. Unreal. Where's our 3 or 8 of spades when we need it? I'm in middle position and I wake up with the cowboys. Pocket kings. Under the gun limps and then under the gun +1 makes it 30. Under the gun +2 cold calls for 30. So when action gets to me, I put in the squeeze. 3-bet to 100. Low jack, hijack, cutoff, button, and small blind all fold before the big blind rips it all in for 182. With me 3-betting to 100, that was a raise of 70. When he repops it for 182, that's an $82 raise on top of our $70 raise, so that's going to reopen the action for us. This is great for us because if under the gun +1 or 2 had real hands like jacks or queens, this spot forces them to either rip it in or fold, and they can't just flat and make my life miserable post-flop. And when they both fold, it basically tells me my kings are way ahead. So now I get to isolate the big blind who turns over queen 7, exactly the kind of garbage hand I want to see. 425 in the middle, and we're in a dream spot with the cowboys.
Never without a sweat. Nope.
Don't you do it to me. Both boards run out clean and we scoop a $425 pot. With him reopening the action there, it really saved us. Both under the gun players folded pocket jacks and pocket 10s. We would have been in rough shape had they seen that flop and turn.
15 now.
I look down at pocket jacks and the low jack. Under the gun +1 opens to 15 and we see 2 cold callers between. This is a great spot to put in a squeeze. Jacks are just too strong to flat call here. I raise it up to 55. Everyone else gets out of the way and only the original raiser makes the call. So we're headed heads up in position with a pot of 143. The flop comes 7 deuce 6 with 2 hearts. My opponent checks. Let's pause and think about ranges here. When under the gun +1 opens and then just calls my 3-bet, his range is usually going to be weighted towards pocket pairs, suited broadways, maybe some ace queen, ace king type of hands. He's less likely to have aces, kings, or queens because those hands would have often 4-bet pre-flop. So I continue with the C-bet of $60 into 143, just under half the pot. This bet targets exactly the type of hand he could have. Ace king that might pill one, pocket 8s through 10s that hate folding but also don't love the spot. It also denies equity from his overcards with hearts. He doesn't tank too long. He flips over ace jack suited and mucks. That's actually really good information. He tells me he's flatting 3 bets out of position with ace jack suited, which means his range is wider than just pocket pairs and premiums. So in the future, I can value bet wider and apply more pressure in these spots. This time, my jacks hold strong and I scoop a nice uncontested pot. I look down at pocket rockets in middle position. Under the gun makes it 10 to go. The next player cold calls and I pump it up to 25. It folds around to the initial raiser and he sticks in the call, as does under the gun +2. So we're 3 ways to a $78 pot. The flop comes jack of diamonds, 6 of spades, 7 of hearts. It checks to me. I fire 30. The original raiser makes the call and under the gun +2 folds, so we're going heads up to the turn with $138 in the middle. The turn brings the queen of clubs. He checks and once again I decide to keep the pressure on, tossing out another small $30 bet. This time he lays it down and the Rockets take it. I'm in the low jack position with queen 10 offsuit and there's a limp in front of me. I raise it up to 11 and I get 3 callers, the cutoff calls, button calls, and the big blind calls. So we're going 4 ways to a flop with 44 in the middle. Dealer spreads out 9 of spades, queen of diamonds, 10 of clubs. Top 2 pair for us. Pretty great board with 4 players, but there's always danger. Big blind leads out 15. I flat, cut off calls, and the button comes along too. We're still 4 ways to the turn, and the pot is now 104. The turn comes the jack of diamonds. Not exactly what we wanted to see. Any king gives a straight, and there's also now a diamond draw on board, but the big blind keeps betting tiny. Just 15 into over 100. I call, button calls, and we're still 3 ways with 149 in the middle. In the river, bang, the queen of hearts rolls off. We boat up, queens full of 10s. Big blind finally checks, and now it's time to size up. I fire 125, polarizing the spot. Unfortunately, both players fold, but I'll take it. We make a full house and scoop the pot.
Definitely no good. Board it.
I'm on the button and look down at pocket queens. Under the gun limps, the low jack raises to 15, hijack folds, and the cutoff makes the call. I squeeze it up to 45 and get calls from both the low jack and the cutoff. We're going 3 ways to the flop with 140 in the middle. The dealer puts out 6 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, deuce of spades. Pretty safe board for our queens. Only worry is the diamond draw. The action checks to me and I go for 60. The low jack quickly folds, but the cutoff makes the call. We're heads up with 260 in the middle. The turn comes a 3 of hearts, another safe card. He checks again and I size up to 130, about half pot. He tanks for a bit, clearly not loving his spot, and eventually lets it go. We don't get full value, but we drag in a nice pot with pocket queens, a solid win in position. It looks like he was also chasing a flush draw. He paid the dealer for the rabbit card, so it's good to know what he had. I'm in the big blind with ace queen suited of spades and the straddle is on. Middle position limps, cutoff limps, button limps, small blind completes, and I bump it up to 17. The straddle calls, middle position calls, cutoff calls, and the button calls. The small blind gets out of the way. We're going 5 ways to the flop with 90 in the middle. The dealer fans out the 3 of clubs, ace of diamonds, 9 of spades. We got top pair with a queen kicker on a pretty dry board. I lead out for 55 and only middle position makes the call. Everyone else gets out of the way. We're going heads up now with 200 in the pot. The turn is the jack of diamonds. It brings in some straight possibilities and a backdoor diamond draw. I decide to check it over and he checks it back. River comes the 6 of spades. I go small, 45 into 200, just looking to get value from worse aces. He thinks about it and makes the call. I roll over ace queen and we scoop the $290 pot and he flashes ace 5 offsuit. That's a solid pot heading our way with top pair, top kicker. I'm in the straddle for $5 and look down at the prettiest hand in poker, pocket aces. Under the gun opens to 10 and it folds around to the big blind who makes the call. I bump it up to 30, I'm looking to punish. Under the gun just flats to 30, which raises some eyebrows. That's a pretty suspicious line. Usually strong hands like jacks, queens, maybe even kings or ace king suited. Then the big blind decides he's not here to mess around. He comes back with a 4 bet to 130. Big sizing, more than 4x my raise. Alarms are going off now because this looks like a monster hand. I take a moment and give him a little Hollywood, like I'm really debating my options. In reality, I'm already planning my next move. I put in the 5 bet to 305, making it clear I'm not going anywhere. Under the gun, who started this whole thing, wants no part of this war and quickly folds out of the way. And that's when the big blind instantly rips it all in. No hesitation, no count, just snap shoves for 1200 effective. This is the kind of spot that gets your heart racing. We're sitting on the absolute top of the mountain with pocket aces, and the chips are flying in. He could have kings, maybe ace king, maybe queens, turning it into a bluff. But most of the time, this is exactly where you want to be when you've got the rockets. I make the call, and we're playing for stacks.
I call.
I'm gonna keep these right here.
Aces? Yeah.
I folded this.
How much would you have for 30?
All right, twice.
Is there any other blinds?
How many times?
Twice.
Give him a king on that one. Oh gosh. Runner.
Oh, forget you guys.
Damn.
Should be all your chips.
In hindsight, this is one of those hands that really shaped the session. You don't always get spots this clean, but when the rockets hold and a $2,400 pot comes your way, it sets the tone for the whole night. These are the moments that make poker so addictive, stacking chips, building momentum, and sharing it all with you guys here on the vlog. I'm in middle position with ace-jack offsuit and raise it up to 15. Pretty much the whole table comes along, the cutoff, button, blinds, even under the gun. So we go 7 ways to a flop with 105 in the middle. The board comes out 8 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, 10 of spades. It checks over to the low jack who bets 15. The hijack calls, the cutoff folds, small blind calls, big blind calls, and under the gun calls. And I'm closing the action. 15 to win 180 is a great price, so I stick in the call as well. We're 6 ways to the turn with 195 in the middle, and it's the jack of spades. It checks all the way around to me this time. With top pair, top kicker, I bet out for 60. The low jack quickly folds, hijack makes the call, and everyone else gets out of the way. Heads up for now with 315 in the middle. The river brings the queen of clubs, not the best card since it connects with some straights, so I size small and bet 60. He thinks for a bit before letting it go, and we take down a nice $315 pot with ace-jack offsuit. I'm in the cutoff with king-queen offsuit. $5 settles on, and after 3 limpers, I raise it up to 15. The button makes the call, blinds fold, and the straddle comes back in with the raise to 45. I make the call, and the button comes along as well. We're going 3 ways to a flop with 148 in the middle. Flop comes 6 of spades, queen of hearts, jack of diamonds, top pair, good kicker. The straddle checks it over to me and I fire for 45. The button makes the call and then the straddle puts in a big check raise to 150. That's a pretty strong line. His range here looks like sets, jacks or sixes, maybe queens for top set, or big overpairs like aces or kings. Could also have ace king for the nut straight draw or even possibly king 10 suited. There's not a lot of bluffs here in this spot multi-way. I stupidly make the call and then the button rips it in for 183. We're forced to call it off and now there's nearly 700 in the middle going to the turn. Turn comes the 8 of hearts and the straddle leads out for 225. At this point it's pretty clear. I shouldn't have called his flop raise. The line is almost always a set or a huge overpair. And king queen just isn't good enough to continue. And sure enough, he flips over pocket queens for top set, right in line with his pre-flop action and his flop check raise. I'm under the gun with king queen of hearts and raise it up to 15. Under the gun +1 makes the call. Low jack and cutoff both come along. Small blind calls and the big blind defends. We're going 6 ways to a flop with $90 in the middle. The flop comes deuce of spades, 7 of diamonds, king of clubs. It checks to me and I bet $20. Under the gun +1 calls, low jack and cutoff both fold. Small blind calls and the big blind gets out the way. So we're going 3 ways to the turn with 150 in the middle. The turn is the ace of diamonds. Small blind now leads into us for 25. With second pair and a strong kicker, I make the call. Under the gun +1 folds and we're heads up to the river with 200 in the pot. The river comes with 3 of spades. Small blind checks and I decide to check it back. He shows king 6 of diamonds for top pair with the nut flush draw on the turn. But our kicker plays. We take down a nice $200 pot with king queen. I'm in a small blind with pocket queens. The straddle's on and the cutoff and button both limp, so I raise it up to 15. The big blind comes right back with 3-bet to 50. It folds around and I make the call. We're going heads up to a flop with 115 in the middle. Board comes 8 of clubs, 6 of clubs, king of clubs. Pretty ugly board for my hand, so I check it and he checks it through as well. The turn is 10 of diamonds and we both check it through again. River is a 6 of hearts. Time to go for some thin value. I lead out for 25. He flashes ace jack and tosses it away. I show the queens and drag the pot. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. I'll be back with some more hands, more action, and hopefully even bigger wins. So see you in the next one.